Ever wonder what it would cost to hire someone to absolutely obliterate everything in sight? We're not talking your average contractor here. Nope, we are talking about one single person doing property damage like a caffeinated demolition crew. Unfiltered chaos caused by the uncontrolled smashing and bashing. Pure green rage with questionable fashion choices. Hulk smash! We're talking about the Incredible Hulk. The man, the myth that has turned cities into his personal playground of absolute chaos. Streets shredded, storefronts flattened like pancakes, cars flying around like they had signed up for a Cirque du Soleil audition. Hulk leaves a financial trail of destruction that reaches into the trillions. That's right, we're not here to celebrate the punch. We're here to tally the cost of the aftermath of having the strongest Avenger around, because this guy's version of a fight scene is basically a masterclass in property destruction. Stick around, let's fire up our calculator. Take a deep breath, because by the end of this video, you're going to see just how much debt this big green guy leaves behind. And believe me, it's enough to make even Tony Stark sweat.
No.
First up, cities. Now, Hulk isn't picky about where he smashes, whether it's New York, Asgard, or some hidden military complex in the Canadian wilderness. One thing is certain, if there are walls, Hulk is going through them. And all this happens while families stare as homes turn into Lego parts. More than one person might realize they had just refinanced a building that is now gone. In Hulk vs. Thor 2009, the destruction isn't just physical, it's also cultural. We're talking about the grand golden architecture of Asgard, forged by gods and kept standing for thousands of years, and Hulk turns it into rubble in a matter of minutes. This was not the kind of mess an insurance agent could scribble on a clipboard. The destruction was so massive it made the word billion feel like spare change. Now replacing even a single Asgardian structure? Priceless. But since we need a number, let's imagine Asgardian towers on the scale of iconic landmarks like the US Capitol or Notre Dame Cathedral. The collapse of a city block in New York might run you $5 to $10 billion. The destruction of one Asgardian Great Hall, with its priceless relics and impossible to replicate craftsmanship, will give it $50 billion. And that's a lowball, because how do you even calculate the value of Asgard? The insurance company on Asgard must be having a heart attack. But it gets worse. Let's come back to Earth and look at the Canadian wilderness from the Hulk vs. Wolverine movie. You might think, oh, it's just a bunch of trees. But those trees were a multi-million-dollar carbon sink. Plus, they were hiding a top-secret military facility. Hulk's fight with Wolverine tore through acres of forest, and Hulk tears through it all. A single research base could be worth upwards $500 million. Not counting the cost of cleanup or the loss of classified technology. Add in ecological repair for destroyed wilderness, and we're talking about billions more. But for now, we will give it a solid $2 billion in destroyed government property. And what about a typical Tuesday in New York City? The average city block is worth $500 million. Hulk has wiped out dozens of these blocks in a single afternoon. Hulk collapsed multi-billion-dollar bridges, ruined subway systems, and taken down entire power grids. Just one average rampage can easily add another $5 billion to our total. By the end of the day, Manhattan does not look like a city at all. It resembles like a junkyard thrown into a blender and set on fire for extra cinematic flair. His every punch comes with an absurdly overpriced receipt, and when you add it all up, its urban destruction alone is a number that should make any financial advisor faint against a calculator. Mumbling about early retirement and career changes. Imagine families dialing their insurance, hoping for some miracle, only to hear that Hulk is not covered under any plan. Heroic in theory, but in reality the price tag would be absurd enough to make anyone rethink moving to Manhattan. Hulk would officially become New York's most expensive problem solver. If there's one group that should have learned by now not to pick fights with Hulk, it's the military. Yet in almost every series, they come back for more and pay the price. Poor General Thunderbolt Ross. His entire career has been dedicated to one single and monumentally expensive failure, capturing the Hulk. He sends in the best of the best, M1 Abrams tanks, Apache helicopters, F-35 fighter jets. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars for each one. And what does the Hulk do? He uses a tank turret as a frisbee. He swats an F-35 out of the sky like a mosquito. A single battle with him can easily see hundreds of millions of dollars in military hardware disappear in minutes. Let's look at the sheer cost of equipment destroyed. In Hulk vs. Wolverine, Hulk doesn't just fight Logan, he fights the Canadian military. Dozens of tanks reduced to twisted metal, choppers swatted out of the air. Each modern tank costs about $6 million, a fighter jet closer to $100 million. Now imagine Hulk flattening a dozen tanks and swatting down multiple aircraft in one encounter. That's easily $500 million gone in a single afternoon. Somewhere, a judge will be rubbing their temples, wondering if Hulk had ever tried therapy, yoga, Pilates, or at least investing in a punching bag that isn't a building. Then we have the Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes. Across multiple episodes, Hulk clashes with s.h.i.e.l.D. and military forces, which tells us very clearly it isn't a one-time event. Instead, they happen way too often. And it's not just the vehicles, it's the military bases themselves. Hulk loves to tear them down to their very foundations, leaving behind nothing but ruin. The cost of a secure and standing military base? Hundreds of millions. Every time Ross tries and fails, a new emergency spending bill gets signed. So over the span of his cartoon battles, Hulk has likely cost global militaries around $15 to $20 billion in lost vehicles, weapons, and operations. But hold on to your wallets, because this is where things get truly insane. What happens when Hulk takes his destructive talents off-world? The answer is utter, cosmic-scale financial ruin. The real-world price tag of this kind of destruction would be almost unbearable. The animated movie Planet Hulk is our perfect example. Hulk was exiled to s.h.i.e.l.D., a brutal gladiatorial planet. Its capital, Crown City, was a futuristic masterpiece. Golden domes, crystalline palaces, and technologically advanced infrastructure were everywhere. The entire planet's economy and society were built around gladiator fights, a form of entertainment where warriors fought in a sprawling arena that was itself a multi-trillion-dollar piece of engineering. On s.h.i.e.l.D., those arenas were packed with advanced alien tech, energy fields, and weapon systems, and Hulk's time as a gladiator was an economic disaster waiting to happen. And Hulk, of course, broke all of it. Every one of his battles cost billions in damage to the stadium, but that was just a warm-up. The aftermath crisis was so huge that the entire insurance companies probably faked their own bankruptcy, packed their bags, and moved to the Bahamas while muttering that universe annihilation was officially above their pay grade. Because a true financial apocalypse came when Hulk led a planet-wide rebellion against the tyrannical Red King. If you tried to put a financial figure on the cost of destroying s.h.i.e.l.D.'s empire, you'd be looking at the kind of numbers reserved for global wars. Imagine the Soviet Union's fall in the early 1990s, which caused trillions in lost GDP and decades of rebuilding. Hulk doesn't just destabilize s.h.i.e.l.D., he destroys it, leading to ruined cities, destroying armies with countless lives lost. The loss of infrastructure, military stockpiles, and planetary resources could be around hundreds of billions if not trillions. So on the safe side, we will keep it around $800 billion. Enough to make even the most stoic banker question their life choices or start investing in bubble wrap futures. It's easy to say Hulk freed the people, but economically, he also triggered the collapse of an entire interplanetary government. Hulk's actions on s.h.i.e.l.D. are so costly they don't just break the bank, they break economies. He turns entire planets into ground zero for financial ruin. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, remember that Hulk's rage doesn't just harm his enemies, it often harms his teammates, his friends, his allies. They all pay the price. In Hulk and the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D., Hulk shares a base with She-Hulk, Red Hulk, A-Bomb, and Scar. But if Hulk's chaos spreads like office gossip, then just imagine the problem of putting a team of Hulks under one roof. Which is obvious. The roof doesn't last long. Their headquarters is constantly getting smashed during training sessions, accidents, or just casual outbursts. Imagine the upkeep cost for a base that has to be rebuilt after nearly every mission. Hulk may be the leader, but even among allies, his temper causes chaos. Their headquarters was frequently in ruins. Advanced labs were constantly smashed. Every time Hulk loses control inside his own base, it's millions of dollars of repairs and lost technology. Somewhere, an Avengers trainee is probably muttering about quitting and Googling how to open a lemonade stand instead. In Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, his rage leads to damage at Avengers HQ and the destruction of high-tech equipment belonging to Tony Stark. I'm talking about a lab filled with quantum processors that cost more than a small country's GDP, now reduced to a pile of rubble. The cost of those destroyed prototypes, those irreplaceable pieces of technology, can easily run into the hundreds of millions over time. Every time Bruce has a bad day, Tony Stark probably just sighs and sends another check to his own insurance company, muttering about how he should have just stuck to building suits. If we were to tally up all the collateral damage Hulk has caused to his friends and teammates across cartoon appearances, the number would easily push $10 to $15 billion in destroyed labs, vehicles, weapons, and facilities. And while Hulk's allies may shrug it off as the cost of doing business, in real-world terms, it's a lot of money down the drain. One of the most overlooked aspects of Hulk's destruction, while we've been busy counting the cost of buildings and tanks, we can't forget the most vulnerable victim of Hulk's rage, the planet itself. His sheer power, even when used against villains, leaves a lasting scar on natural environments. When Hulk battles in the Amazon rainforest, he's not just a danger to the villain, he's a danger to the entire ecosystem. His ground pounds can cause tremors that trigger mudslides, and his leaps can uproot dozens of trees that have taken centuries to grow. The cost of the lost biodiversity and the environmental restoration efforts would be in the billions. In Hulk vs. Wolverine, forests are ripped apart, acres of wilderness go up in flames, wildlife is scattered, and natural habitats are permanently altered. Restoring even a small section of damaged forest can cost millions. When Hulk flattens miles of wilderness, the price tag soars into the hundreds of millions. Restoration costs for environmental disasters are huge. The 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil spill cost over $65 billion to clean up. Massive wildfires can cost billions more. Hulk's repeated environmental damage could easily run into the tens of billions just in restoration efforts. Or consider a battle in the Arctic. A clash with a frost giant could see Hulk smashing through glaciers, causing them to cave into the sea and irreversibly changing the Arctic landscape. A fight in a desert could destabilize the sand, causing massive dust-choking sandstorms. And then there's the side effects. The fires, the polluted rivers from destroyed tech, the insane amount of displaced rock and soil that can collapse entire mountains. The ecological restoration required to fix just a handful of these events would be monumental, costing billions in cleanup, re-engineering, and conservation efforts. And unlike buildings, nature can't just be rebuilt with concrete and steel. Sometimes the damage is irreversible. Our estimate for this kind of widespread, repeated damage from Hulk comes in at a shocking $45 billion. Every place unlucky enough to be in Hulk's path would vanish like leftover pizza at a frat party. When you add it all up, the final number are brutal. It's hard to even understand. We've gone the urban chaos from cities to interplanetary devastation, from military losses to the collateral damage to his friends, and let's not leave behind the unseen environmental ruin. Add penalties, class action lawsuits, wrongful death claims, and citywide fines, and the total final figure for Hulk's cartoon carnage is a shocking $937 billion. More than the GDP of some countries. This isn't just money, it's nearly a full $1 trillion in debt, all because of one very angry green guy. To put that in perspective, that's enough money to give a brand new home to every single person in the United States. It's enough to build a global high-speed rail network. It's an amount that could cause a worldwide recession. When the dust settles, humanity faces a choice. Cheer their hero, or hand him a calculator and insist he balance the books before the next punch lands. So, the next time you see the green guy in action, remember, his existence is a financial liability on a cosmic scale. every punch and jump he makes comes with a price tag. It's a price so immense, it's a miracle anyone can afford to have him on their team. If you enjoy diving into the hidden costs of destruction, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps the channel grow, and unlike Hulk's rampages, it will not cost anyone a fortune.